Hey everybody, I'm just doing a quick video here of some of the equipment that you can use when you're doing paint pouring. I'm going to go through a few different ideas. You can use some of them, you can use all of them, whatever works for you. What you need to start with, of course, is mixing cups. You can use ones that are see-through or ones that are not. It makes no difference at all to what you're doing, just that if they're see-through, it might be a little bit prettier to look at. That's about it. So you need some mixing cups. You need a stirring stick so that you can mix your paint up. Now for me, I've chosen the jumbo pop sticks because it just feels nicer and it's easier to mix with, but it doesn't matter. You choose what you like. You need something to hold up your canvas or whatever you're working on so that the paint can drip off it easily, and something to catch the drips. So for me, when I started, simply an alfoil tray, some cups, and I could sit my canvas on top and move the entire thing if I needed to without concern about the drips going everywhere. So that's it. To get started, really is that simple. Something to hold your canvas up, something to catch your drips, and something to mix in. As you go along, you might decide to expand what you do. You might want different options. You might want bigger, more room. You might want different things to go on. You can also, of course, this is a PVC acrylic disc. You can paint onto that. You can do it onto timber. Here's a result of one on timber. You can do onto lots of things. It really is your choice. When you're working with just the paint and medium, generally you won't get many cells, depending on your mix. And I'm not going to go into that today. But you can still create something that is really pretty and interesting, even if there's no cells in it. Some people prefer no cells. Really is up to the individual. When you're getting to your next level, if you want to do something more and create more with it and make it have more interaction, you might like to have something with a bit more room. So this is a party platter, and I find these are really quite good to work in because they're quite deep at the sides as well. And I will use a thumbtack. So I'll just pop that in underneath my, my canvas or whatever, and I can put a few of them here and make that work really easily. You could use old cardboard box lids, you could use a variety of things. It really is your choice. When you're wanting to make more happen with the products and make them create cells or to do more, that's when I use an additive. Now, being in Australia, the way that my things and the chemicals I have available to me is slightly different to other countries. Is just an idea of what you can use, and then you can go and look for it yourselves. Some people will use silicone, some people will use Rain-X. My preferred product is dimethicone, and for me, this is where I like to get it from best, coconut milk. Recently, there was none of this available in the shop, so I had to go looking elsewhere. The way to tell whether or not the product is going to do something for you is in your ingredients list, whereabouts dimethicone is listed. So in this product, it's listed first. That means I'll get good results. When I couldn't use that product because it was gone, I found this and started using this as an option. Also smells pretty. So the dimethicone in the ingredients list here was number 3, but I thought I'll give it a try and see if it works, and got some good results. So I was pretty happy with that. When you're going ahead up to wanting to make great things happen from your cells, you may want to apply heat. So again, totally your choice. Some people use torching. I prefer a heat gun because I find I get a little bit more control out of it. I can also use it to blow because it's got 2 different settings there. So I can do little blowouts and make flour appear, things like that. That's a blowout with the heat gun. So it depends on what results you're trying to get and what you're comfortable with. Personally, I'm not comfortable with having a torch in my house. I also prefer to not use resin. I use different things to finish my products with. So from your first little alfoil tray, you can move up to your party trays. And then if you want to do a lot of stuff, you can move up to things like these big bins. And I use wire cake racks type things on top of them, or shelving racks. You can put timber across the top, whatever works for you. The great thing about those bins as well, because they're so deep, you can use the spinning discs, so you can use a Lazy Susan or whatever you want to use there, and it'll catch the paint a bit better as well. Lots of options. For myself, because I do this as part of my work, I will also use just these flat trays. Again, using one of those racks on there. It really depends on how much you're wanting to do at a time, how much space you have to have it all drying, and that sort of thing, where you want to go with there. So with the products that cause the cells, to give you an idea of what that looks like, that's just a little mini one, and that's got a few little cells going on there, and that's a bigger one. And you can see the cells in here. With this one, this is actually the shampoo, and this one is the coconut milk. Different products achieve different results, and it's exciting to seeing what happens with it. Okay, so when you're mixing your paint, you will have leftovers more than once, quite likely. Options for you for storage. So you can pop them into little containers like this. I have found these little bottles recently at Riot Art, which is a Australian brand art and craft store. So Riot Art, I will use a lot of their products for when I'm doing my bigger canvases and my big mixes. And when I'm doing my smaller canvases and my classes, I'll go with Mart. It really depends on you. I've tried a few different products over time, and that's just my personal preference. So when I'm doing my bigger canvases, which is this sort of thing, then I will go ahead and use these racks or straight on my tables, which I've got a nice plastic cloth on to help protect them, a table cover, and I will put timber down underneath and let the timber hold the product up so that it can do the dripping and it doesn't get stuck. I will use Riot Art paints for my bigger works, which they used to be called Global, and they've now changed to Eldorado, and they're quite thick, so my mix with those is slightly different to my mix with the other paints. I also use Floetrol, which in Australia we get from Bunnings. In America, it's a different sort, and quite often I see a lot of Americans talking about it has an egg smell. It's gone off and it's gone rotten. So far, I haven't had that issue. I hope I don't have that happen. So for me, I will actually pre-mix my paints the majority of the time, and I'll use these containers, and I'll have them ready to go so that as I'm creating, because I use a lot of colours similar, I can just grab one and run with it. So I will store that also for a couple of months and reuse and remix, and for me it's not been an issue so far. But it depends on you, depends on your mix, depends if you add water, depends if you're using distilled water, depends on your climate, lots of things that make a difference. So with getting started with fluid art, you really just need something that holds it up, something to catch your drips, and something to mix in. As you go along, you might want to start getting into the more progressive things, and that's really up to you. And for finishing product as well, personally, I just use a gloss spray. Some people like resin. You can do that if you wish. I prefer not to. This is just my preference. And I really like the end result that it achieves. That there has the gloss spray on it, and the metallics have come up beautifully. I'll be drawing over this as well. Just another thing you can do with this. So I hope that gives you a few ideas, and with time on the channel I'm going to be uploading different things that I do, using different paints, using inks, using metallics, using powders, but to start with, all you need, just some basic paint, a flow product so that you can make your paint, move around, and with my next video I'll be doing a few mixes and showing you how to get started.